Call Lifetime Awning, 724-554-6067, or email John, the owner, at lifetimeawningsusa@gmail.com.
And it's now 11:15 on this Friday morning, and it's time for Locally Yours, and a special edition today as we're going to be talking about the annual Memorial Day Patriotic Remembrance on Monday, Memorial Day at 10 a.m. at the Stephen R. Haky Funeral Home in Sylvan Heights Cemetery. And this morning we have two guests with us. We have William Bouts from the Haky Funeral Home, and we also have Rich Miller, the band director of the VFW Post 8543. So, gentlemen, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having us this morning.
And I don't know who wants to start. Maybe you, William. Why don't you guys both? We'll just start with both of you. Introduce yourselves.
I'm William Bouts. I'm one of the funeral directors at the Stephen R. Haky Funeral Home at Sylvan Heights Cemetery. And then,
okay. I'm Rich Miller. I'm the band director of the VFW Post 8543 band in North Union.
And first, William, how long have you been with the funeral home?
I've been with the funeral home almost 26 years.
Okay.
Between Fayette Street and then when we moved up to Sylvan Heights Cemetery.
Okay. And Rich, how long have you been the band director for the band?
This is our 15th season.
Okay. Awesome. And how long have you guys both been involved with this ceremony on Monday?
So I've been involved for 26 years. Yeah. This will be the 26 years. So we do it every year.
Every year.
Yeah.
Okay. And Rich?
I've been involved with it since, I guess it started back with the VFW Post 8040, and then when it moved out to 8543, we moved the band out there also. We've still been a part of the program ever since then.
Awesome. William, why don't you tell us a little bit about the background of this event and everything?
Well, pretty much, I said it was originally, I think it was a veterans event, and I don't think they always had it at Sylvan Heights Cemetery, because I said my understanding was they used to have it, they used to roam around with it every year, and then I think either in 98 or 99, they just decided to have it at Sylvan Heights Cemetery on our veterans section. So on Monday, that's where it'll be down, when you come in the main gate of the cemetery down to the left, there's a special area down there in the veterans section. There's a podium, and that's where they set up. That's where we have the service every year to honor veterans and then also honor people for Memorial Day.
Okay. And I should mention the WMBS will be there, as we always are, to broadcast the service on Monday as well. So it's an honor to be down there as well. How long, or I guess I should ask you, why did the funeral home want to get involved with this event? And obviously it's been going on for a long time.
Well, I think originally, like I said, the Haky family, that would be Steve Haky and Stephanie Haky, the veterans, approached them to give them assistance with it. And I think at one time, like I said, I'm not sure if it was along Route 22. They used to do it there at some point, but I guess because of traffic and things like that and parking for it, they stopped doing it there and they moved up to Sylvan Heights because it was just a central location. Everybody had the thing there. So.
Well, I can remember back in the 70s, we used to do a ceremony at Oak Lawn Cemetery.
Yeah.
And then march down 40 to the Five Corners and do a ceremony there also.
Yeah. That's my understanding. They used to do it up there at those
Okay.
cemeteries, but like I said, just because of parking and things there, they found it was more advantageous to do it up at our location up there. So.
And the funeral home, obviously, I mean, it's very nice that you guys do this for so long. It's great community event in honoring, all the people that we've lost in military service.
And two, like I said, it's always a nice affair. Like I said, there's only, like I said, I can only remember twice in the 26. Unfortunately, 2 years ago for 24, we had bad weather, and that was the only year we didn't have it. Because we had a windstorm and it knocked the tents down, and then the gentleman from the veterans that was running at the time, he decided just to cancel it instead of go through with it. But we try and have it every year, and then for this year, like I said, we did come up with a backup plan. For some reason, it is storming really bad,
Yeah.
but it'll just be up the funeral home instead of down at the down in the cemetery itself.
Okay. And Rich, how did the band get involved in this event?
I guess we've been involved since the beginning. The Post 47 was, and then when we moved out to 8543, we just kept it going, and we've been doing it ever since.
And what's it mean for you guys, the band, and you personally to be involved with this event every year?
Well, I'm very glad to be them. For a while, my dad was a commander at Old 47. He was a chaplain for many years there also, and it seemed like a natural thing for us to pick it up and go on with it.
That's really good to hear. Now, why don't you guys let's talk about the actual program on Monday for folks that are either going to be there in attendance or listening here on the radio to it?
Like I said, it's pretty much the same thing every year. Like I said, as Rich was saying, it's such a joy to have the VFW band there because they give a nice musical background and different background for music there. And then pretty much it's just broken down. We have a couple speakers, and then they do a couple different things. Like they always read General Logan's orders, which originally set up for Memorial Day. Somebody else does I think it's an honor to the flag, and then usually we have this year there'll be three kind of guest speakers. The gentlemen, unfortunately their names are escaping right now. They used to do the dog tag show here. They're going to be speaking again. Bob Doria and
Whip Shetler, yes.
And then Mayor Gerke will be speaking as
Okay.
well. And then, like I said, we honor the veterans at the end with then the Gold Star Mothers place a thing for them, and then I think there's one for I can't remember. There's two reasons. I think one's for the veterans, and then one is for the Gold Star Mothers. I think they place those as well.
Okay.
Like I said, it's always a nice event. Usually it's about 40 minutes, and usually always have a nice attendance. And then usually there's some refreshments and things. Usually the cemetery sets up, there's a booth there. They have drinks and hot dogs for people afterwards. You can always, on the way out, you can always go there. So, but like I said, over the 26 years I've been involved, I was gone for a while because I was out at another funeral home, so I missed it for a couple years. But like I said, it's always been a nice event, and we're just glad that we're able to do it for the community. Like I said, and it's still a nice response because just unfortunately here in the last 6 or 7 years, it seems like anything patriotic has kind of went by the wayside. So it's nice to see that we can still encourage people to come out, on Memorial Day and still be patriotic. So it's a nice feeling to know that we can do that for the community.
Definitely. And Rich, what will the band be doing that day? Like, what are your songs, things like that?
The ceremony itself starts at 10 o'clock, but the band will be doing a concert starting at 9:30.
Okay.
And we'll be playing Summon the Heroes, My Name is America, Them Bases March, The Angels Came Down, a medley of United Nations March and Night Flight March, an American trilogy based on an Elvis medley too, British Eighth March, He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother, based on the Hollies version, Bandology Concert March, God Bless the USA, the Lee Greenwood tune, and America the Beautiful. And then we'll go into the actual ceremony.
Now, do you guys always do this concert beforehand?
Yes.
The actual event? Okay. And then once we get into the actual ceremony, what will be happening there? With you as well, Rich. What will you guys be doing once you get into the ceremony?
Well, we'll be doing the Star Spangled Banner, a service songs medley, which is a tribute to all the 5 individual services, 6 individual services now. Duty on Our Country, which is a narration based on a speech that was made at West Point many years ago. Of course, the band will play taps, and then we'll sing God of Our Fathers, and we'll close everything out with the Stars and Stripes Forever March.
Very nice. And not with us this morning is Stanley Angel. He's the commander of the AMVETS in Hopwood. What will his role be in the event?
He's pretty much our master of ceremonies.
Okay.
He makes sure everything's moving along. He introduces people, and then he'll start the service off and invite everybody afterwards. Let people know what's going on.
And how long's he been doing that?
He's
Do you
been doing
know?
it with us the last 2 years.
Okay.
Last year was his first year because, like I said, Jim Clark used to be involved with it for years, but
Okay.
he had other things that he was not involved with it anymore. So we had asked Stan if he would step up and kind of help us along with that.
And how'd it go for his first year?
Good. Everything went well.
I guess it did because he's invited back this year, right?
Yeah. Mainly, this is like I said, they had a lot of contacts with the different veterans organizations and speakers, so they always seem to do well with getting that involved. And then, like I said, no, we've been thankful to have Stanley along.
That's good. Yeah. And I forgot to ask you, Rich, too, at the beginning. How many members in the band?
Right now, we have 60 on the roster,
Okay.
and that's goes from ages 14 to 96.
Wow.
It's quite
That's
a spread.
amazing.
Yes, it is.
A wide range, definitely.
Yeah. But it works out good 'cause everybody enjoys making music, and this helps with the younger members learn from the older members.
And what do you mean? Is there a variety of instruments as well that people are playing?
Full concert band, flutes, clarinets, saxophones, trumpets, trombones, tuba, percussion, French horns. We even have a bass guitar player.
That's cool. Now, if you are looking for people for the band, or,
Always looking for people.
and if people would want to join or just come and check out what you guys do, how would they go about doing that?
You can contact me, contact the Post, or just come to a performance and talk to you there about it. But we're always looking, there's always room for new people, always.
Awesome. And William, if anybody needs anything from the funeral home, how would they go about reaching you and getting that information?
Yeah, pretty much just call us at the funeral home up at Stephen R. Haky Funeral Home up at Sylvan Heights Cemetery. They'll be able to get us there. I give out my email, but the new company one's like really long, and it's a tough one there. But I always tell people the best thing is you just call the funeral home; they'll get us there.
Awesome.
Yes.
We have William here from the Haky Funeral Home, and we have Rich. He is with the VFW Post 8543 band, and we are talking all about the annual Memorial Day Patriotic Remembrance. It'll be on Monday, this coming Monday, Memorial Day, May 25th, 10 a.m. at the Stephen R. Haky Funeral Home in Sylvan Heights Cemetery, outdoors, but if it is raining, it will be indoors. Actually, before we take a break, when would the decision be made if you guys are going to have to move it inside?
So usually it'd be made that morning because we'd see, when people start arriving. But it's pretty easy. Like I said, it's only where we set up down in the cemetery.
Okay.
It's not even 100 yards up to the funeral home. So
Okay.
we direct people up to the funeral home.
Now, if people are coming, William, and they're outside, can they bring their own chairs? Or?
Yes, people always, most people, they bring their own chairs. We help them with things. We will have golf carts available because sometimes when we get a big group, people park up along the roads coming into the cemetery.
Okay.
So some older people do need a ride down to the tents where we're set up. We will be around to assist, people who have trouble walking or long distances will be there.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So we'll take a break and we'll be back with more of our Locally Yours program here. Again, we're talking about the annual Memorial Day Patriotic Remembrance coming up on Monday, and we'll be back right after this here on WMBS.
Help grow your community by keeping your dollars close and shopping local. With the Be Local card, you can enjoy discounts when shopping at locally owned businesses while giving back to your neighbors. Stop by the Herald Standard offices to pick up your free, newly designed 2026 Be Local discount card to start saving today. Cards expire December 31st, 2026. For a complete list of participating businesses and discounts offered, visit the Be Local website, belocal.net. To add your business to the Be Local network, contact the Herald Standard offices at 724-439-7500. That's 724-439-7500. Start saving with Be Local. Visit belocal.net for more information and become a member today.
There's never been a better time to be a Herald Standard subscriber. The Subscriber Rewards program is free and exclusive to all Herald Standard subscribers, providing access to special coupon offers from national and local businesses in Fayette County. Reward yourself. Sign up online at heraldstandard.com/rewards.
WMBS.
All right, we're back on Locally Yours here on this Friday, and again, a special edition today as we're talking about the annual Memorial Day Patriotic Remembrance. It's coming up on Monday, 10 o'clock in the morning, Stephen R. Haky Funeral Home in Sylvan Heights Cemetery. We have William here from the Haky Funeral Home. We also have Rich. He is the band director for the VFW Post 8543 band, and I know, Rich, you want to talk more about the band here.
Yes. We have a pretty busy season this year. Of course, we're doing the Memorial Day service at Sylvan Heights on Monday, the 25th. But this Saturday, tomorrow, May 23rd, we're doing a Memorial Day service at the Exchange Club Park in Fairchance. We play a little concert 3 to 3:15, and then they have a ceremony from 3:15 till about 4 o'clock. And then on Saturday, June 13th, we'll be doing a Pennsylvania Association of School Retirees Veterans Tribute and Flag Day event at the State Theater. There'll be a 2-hour concert starting at 3 o'clock, goes to about 5. Friday, June 19th, this is our biggie. We're going to be playing for the Pennsylvania State VFW Convention up in Cranberry. We're going to be playing a patriotic concert that night, Friday night, from 7 to 8 o'clock in the Cranberries Doubletree Hotel. On Saturday, June 27th, we'll be playing for the Founding Day event at Story Square. We're doing a concert from 11 to 1. The event itself, I think, runs the better part of the day. And it's been a while since it's been back to Story Square, but it should be a wonderful event there.
That's a huge event every
Yes.
year.
Thursday, July 2nd, will be the Fayette 250 July 4th Story Square event also. We'll be playing a concert there from 5 to 8 o'clock. And then the next night, Friday, July 3rd, we'll be doing a 250 event in Masontown at the German Masontown Park. We're doing a concert there from 5 to 7. A lot of events this year. With this Fayette 250 or America 250, because it's the 250th anniversary of our country, a lot of patriotic events are happening, which is great, and we're very proud to be a part of it. You're asking about members. Members, we got a lot of jobs, and people want to come play. We'd love to have you come play with us. You could come talk to us at one of these events. We'll give you all the information you need to know. There are no auditions. You come to rehearsal, we give you a chair, a music stand, and you play your instrument. It's that simple.
So that's pretty much it. You show up, you're automatically in the band.
That's correct, yes. We always like to have people play, enjoy music. If you played in high school or junior high or even college, there's always a place for you with the VFW 8543 band.
And you guys probably are excited this year, especially with all the stuff with the 250 and obviously, you know, Memorial Day and all these other events coming up too. So probably a little extra special for you guys this year.
Yeah, we've had a busy season already, yeah, and it's going to be, June and July will be very busy.
I guess then maybe on a normal year, how many events do you guys usually do in a year, Rich?
I'd say 12 to 15.
Okay, now do you have more this year because of all these extra?
Yes, we do.
So how many do you have so far this year?
So far, we got about a dozen already.
Okay.
So it's worked out good.
And more could be added.
It definitely will be, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Also, I want to mention, each year for the last 14 years, we've done our annual Christmas concert at the State Theater.
Okay.
This year, it'll be on Sunday, November 29th, 3 to 5 o'clock, and we do a 2-hour concert, Christmas concert, with some sacred things and some secular songs also. We also have 4 vocalists that sing with the band, and it gives quite a variety of potential for different kinds of entertainment.
So you mentioned members for instruments, but if people are interested in singing, do you also take people for that as well? If they come out, or how does that work?
Well, for that we do auditions for vocals.
Okay.
They got to be able to read music
Okay.
and whatnot, but
But people can
this
audition for that as well?
Yes,
Okay.
that's how we got the vocalists started in the first place.
Okay.
Through auditions.
Awesome.
But the instrumentalists, you bring your horn, we'll find a place for you.
Okay. Now, if anybody needs information on any of the stuff you just said, is there a website? Where can they go to get more information?
Yes, the band has a website. It's www.vfwpost8543band.com.
Okay.
And we have you can contact me also at 724-439-1923. You can call, leave a message, and I will get back with you.
Sounds good. William, over to you. What do you want? Anything about the funeral home, things that are coming up, things that you guys need or are looking for?
Well, pretty much like I said, a lot of people, just over the years, the Haky family has had the funeral home since 1902. And we were originally down at Fayette Street at the Five Corners there, Dr. Sobel's office there now, but then in 2003 we moved up to the cemetery. And just once again, it's just the history of, unfortunately, Steve Haky passed away about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And then the last of the Hakys, his daughter Stephanie, just retired in 2024.
Okay.
But the service is still the same. I mean, it's still, our service is still based on what the Hakys have done for years. And pretty much, like I said, it's always an honor, like I said, to do these programs, because there's 2 programs we usually do every year. It's the Memorial Day program with the cemetery for Memorial Day, and then usually the first week of Christmas we always have a memorial program up there as well. So we try and have as many people come up for those and enjoy those things. I know for the Christmas program last year's we've had carriage rides with that. That's worked out pretty good before they did the memorial service. So we have a gentleman from town here. He has there's a name for it. It's not a pack. It's not a pack mule. It's a smaller horse though, but they pull the they take
Okay.
them for rides and things up there. It's pretty neat. And but mainly, like I said, it's a joy to do this every year because, like I said, it's just some people expect it every year because I know there's a few disappointed people when we didn't have it in '24 because I was getting some calls at the funeral home and they were like, well, why aren't you guys having it? You know. And
Yeah.
I kind of felt bad because, like I said, the weather, I think on Sunday, we had bad windstorms, so that it blew down the tents, and a lot of them were broken, so they couldn't put them up for the service. And then, like I said, unfortunately, the decision was made, but unfortunately, like I said, right after I got the call, like at 8:30 and said we were canceling it, I was like looking at things, and it kind of cleared up here at Uniontown, so like I said, we could have just, moved it up to the funeral home just in case. But,
That's good now that you do that as a backup plan.
yeah, well, that's why I was telling him afterwards. I said, "Well, we'll never do that again." I said, "Just in the future, it's easy." 'Cause like I said, when people are familiar with the service every year, like I said, when you come in the cemetery gate, the building straight ahead that people always see, that was the old sales building, which now it's just used for storage. There's nobody in there anymore. But when you bear down to the left, right off the left-hand side there, that was the original veterans section. And actually, there's a place there set up for this every year. They put a concrete slab there set up for this, and then there's actually I'd have to look at it because that's the shameful thing. I've been here 20-some years, and I never look at I don't know if that was donated or somebody, but there's an actual podium, a black marble podium that was put in for this.
Okay.
And it has some different things on there, and so that's where we set up every year. And then, like I said, usually we always had there's a tent there for the band, and there's a smaller tent over the area so people, just in case something did happen.
Yeah.
But we're just prepared this year. Like I said, it's always going to be there as long as the weather's nice. But we do have a backup plan in case we do get like a torrential downpour or something like that. And we just knock on fake wood here, but we always lucked out. It seemed like every year, even when that did happen, like it would be downcast in the morning until like about 9 o'clock. The band, everybody came, it would clear up, and then it would be fine until we'd be getting everything. We just either just load up the last of the chairs or whatever we had to take up to the funeral home. Then it would rain. That's the only thing I ever remember. But it always seemed like between 9 and 11, we never had a problem. But that's all we want to make sure, if you can, please, join us at 10 o'clock. Like I said, please come earlier because the band will be playing at 9:30, so you can enjoy that. And like I said, once again, people bring your lawn chairs. A lot of people bring chairs to sit. We have chairs available there, but some people bring their own. They like to sit off to the sides on their own, enjoy the band and enjoy the service, and then two will be there. Like I said, some people, like I said, we do get a crowd of people, so sometimes when they park the cars, some people are up by the gate, and it is a good little walk down there, so we are there to assist, older people or people that can't, have trouble.
And what will you be doing there that day?
Well, that's pretty much all we do. I'll be driving the golf cart around to get people where they go and just making sure that everything's ready to go. Yeah.
So if I need a ride, you'll give me a ride?
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I had to laugh one year because, something happened. Like I said, we were either short on golf carts or somebody was taking them for something else, and happened to be driving around, and there was a woman there. She goes, this is. I said, well, that's what we're here for, babe. I said, get on board. She was kind of surprised that we were doing it. She said, oh, I never knew you guys did this. I said, oh yeah. I said, we're usually driving around to help people.
And that's great.
Yeah.
And it's great that the funeral home and the Hakys have done this for so long. I mean, it's a true family-owned business, and it's just great that they've continued to do it year after year after year.
Well, and I mean, and all through the years, the Hakys were known for their community involvement, and regardless of what organization or what church group came to them, the Hakys were always there to, if they could assist them, they would assist them. And so, like I said, we try to continue that into the modern day. It's just, I want to, I've just noticed, like, I've been in funeral service for 35 years, but just over the last, 20-some, things have changed a lot, and it's just, and true, even in communities, like I said, a lot of the churches around anymore, it's just, your ministers, priests, and things like that, they used to be there for, years and things like that. Now they're transient. So one year you might deal with one minister or priest. Then the next year, for some reason, you're dealing with a new one who just came in, or something happened. So you're always dealing with a lot of changes. But we try. Like I said, this is the main thing. This is a mainstay. Like I said, they've been doing this for about 30 years that I know of. And I know that, like I said, like Rich was saying, I know in the old days, like I said, they used to do it on Route 22 there at Oak Lawn Cemetery. But once again, I think with parking and the different things, or they just didn't want to do it. So I guess they had talked to Steve or Stephanie, and they invited them to come up to or they might have talked to people at Sylvan Heights Cemetery. Somehow they got up there, and like I said, we've always just made sure that it's set up nice, done, and
And there will be plenty of parking, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, we've never had a problem. Like I said, it's just mostly in the cemetery itself. When you come in, parking is on the roads, and we direct people where to park. And then, like I said, if you do get parked further out, toward the entrance and things like that, we do have 2 golf carts running around to help people ride down and ride back. And like I said, it's always been a nice event. And as long as I'm there, I got another 15 years to go before I retire. So as long as I'm here in Uniontown, I'll continue to be involved with it. And like I said, as long as we can do it, we'll continue to be involved with it. So
And that's great. And obviously, you mentioned like the year that you didn't have it. Obviously, people were. I mean, I don't know if they were upset, but they were wondering where it was. So obviously, people really like this event.
Some people figured out because I guess it was still downcast up here. They just figured it was because of weather, but there was nobody. I guess I didn't know that nobody was giving anybody direction up there.
Yeah.
And because unfortunately I don't live here in Uniontown, so I was kind of away from. And but we had like 6 or 7 calls on the answering service saying, we're here. Where are you guys at? And,
Yeah.
I said, that's why I wish we wouldn't have canceled this.
But now you guys got a backup plan. You can always move it indoors.
Yeah.
All right, we're talking with William and Rich here all about the annual Memorial Day Patriotic Remembrance. It's coming up on Monday. 10 a.m. is the actual ceremony, but the concert will begin at 9:30. Again, this is at Stephen R. Haky Funeral Home, Sylvan Heights Cemetery. We'll take another break. We'll come back, and we'll have the guys go over any final things here about the program and things like that as we wrap up on this special edition of Locally Yours here on this Friday on WMBS.
Help grow your community by keeping your dollars close and shopping local. With the Be Local card, you can enjoy discounts when shopping at locally owned businesses while giving back to your neighbors. Stop by the Herald Standard offices to pick up your free, newly designed 2026 Be Local discount card to start saving today. Cards expire December 31st, 2026. For a complete list of participating businesses and discounts offered, visit the Be Local website, belocal.net. To add your business to the Be Local network, contact the Herald Standard offices at 724-439-7500. That's 724-439-7500. Start saving with Be Local. Visit belocal.net for more information and become a member today.
The Herald Standard delivers news your way. Save up to 46% off newsstand prices with a home delivery subscription, including complete digital access. Monthly subscriptions starting as low as $8.99. Call 855-303-2661 or visit heraldstandard.com.
WMBS.
All right, back on Locally Yours here on this Friday, and we're again talking about the Memorial Day Remembrance service coming up on Monday. It's the Stephen R. Haky Funeral Home, Sylvan Heights Cemetery. We have William here from the funeral home and Rich with the VFW band. And Rich, before we go over everything again for Monday, when do you guys rehearse or where and when are rehearsals with the band?
The band rehearses March through December on the 2nd and 4th Mondays of the month, 7 to 9 o'clock p.m. at the Post 8543 Hall, which is located at 1235 West Penn Boulevard in North Union. And we come to our rehearsal. You just bring your instrument, and we'll find a place for you to sit. The next scheduled rehearsal is on Monday, June 8th, 7 to 9 o'clock p.m. at the Post, as we get ready for the several events, 5 events coming up in June and July. And you're always welcome to come and play with us.
And again, what was your website? And is there is this information also on your website as well? Okay, go ahead and give that again.
The website address is www.vfwpost8543band.com.
All right.
Or you can contact me at 724-439-1923.
All right. That's good. And you get, how many members again did you say?
There's 60 on the roster.
60.
With so many schedules, you're like juggling 60 balls in the air at once.
I bet.
So on average, we have between 40 and 50 people at the events.
Awesome. And what was that age range again? Because this was impressive.
14 through 96.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Let's go back before we wrap up, guys. Let's go over everything that people need to know for Monday's service. William, we want to start with you, and then we'll go to Rich.
Just to recap what's going on, like I said, and if you just to get it there for Rich, if you haven't had an opportunity, the band is very good. Like I said, it's always the music's always good. Please, if you can, make sure you're there at 9:30 to hear them play. It's always good.
Thank you.
Well, there's a friend of mine. He's a funeral director. He plays in the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always tell him I look forward every year to hearing the sousaphone section.
Phil Rischel.
Phil Rischel from down the Harris. He's a good band. I always kid him every year. I said, Phil, I always look forward to hearing you play in the band. But mainly, like I said, the band will be playing at 9:30. The official ceremony will start at 10. Usually, like I said, goes about 40 minutes. Like I said, there'll just be some speakers, some remembrances, and things like that. And then there'll be a honor for veterans and the flag from the VVI AMVETS. They do a taps and gun salute for them. And then normally during the service, like I said, we do have cookies, coffee, and water out for people, so you can always help yourself during the service. But once again, just come out, and as always, those who come every year, they know what's going on.
Yeah.
If you're new, please, just remember it's always down in the cemetery by the veterans section. The only time we'll be up at the funeral home is if, like I said, there's inclement weather or something like that, but it's always in the cemetery itself.
Okay.
And then if you need help, like I said, I'll give you the funeral home number. Just call 724-437-2756 if you need any assistance or anything like that. We can always get to us and we can help you with something. But we'll be there. Like I said, we're usually there at 9 in the morning until usually about an hour afterwards. So any assistance we can provide. But like I said, please, if you have the opportunity, come and join us. And it's always a nice affair. And a lot of people, like I said, I've talked to families, because it seems like every year when I'm out walking around, there's always people that we've buried during the year whose family were veterans or things like that, or it's people, I feel bad because I'm only 52, but I'm starting to get that Youngsheimer's disease where I see people, but I can't always remember who, and I feel terrible because I should know who they are, but sometimes I have to ask, I said, just please refresh me as to who you are. But it's always nice, to see people, we've serviced in the past, and then, new families. It's always a nice thing. And as I mentioned earlier, I just noticed it just seems like in the last 5 or 6 years, that some of this stuff is like going offside. So it's still nice to see we're able to do these events and they're still well populated to come out, because it just seems like, for some reason, like I said, it's just you get a group that's okay with it, and you get some of these polar groups, like anything that's like Memorial Day, Veterans Day. There's a little bit of in the old days there was never question or anything about it. But now people are like, well, I don't know if I want to do that, because I might do this, So,
Yeah.
But we always try and make it to where it's a nice event. We're honoring people, and there's really nothing, that I've never found anything offensive, out of it. So it's always a good thing. And like I said, we're glad we can still do it for the community, have people involved. It's always nice to have the VFW band, the other veterans organizations, the mayor. I mean, truthfully, for what it is, we always get a good response too from the community. The mayor, different civic leaders, and then all the veterans, and especially once again, I got to keep saying the VFW band is good. Please, if you can, come see the VFW band.
So plenty of parking. Bring a chair, and if people need assistance, golf carts, you guys will help them, whatever they need.
Yeah, we're there to help everybody. So.
All right, and Rich, why don't we go over again what's going to be happening actually with you guys and the band, what you'll be doing through the whole ceremony.
Okay, we'll be there doing a concert at 9:30. We're playing Summon the Heroes, My Name is America, Them Bases March, The Angels Came Down, a medley of United Nations March and Night Flight, which is from World War II era. An American Trilogy was an old Elvis medley, a British Eighth March, He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother, Bandology, Concert March, God Bless USA, the Lee Greenwood song, and America the Beautiful. And then as part of the program, we'll be doing the Star Spangled Banner, the Service Songs Medley, Duty on Our Country, Taps, of course, God of Our Fathers, and the Stars and Stripes Forever March.
All right. Anything else, guys, as we get ready to wrap up here?
No, pretty much like I said, just if you have the opportunity, and we always invite those who have always come every year, but if for some reason you never come to one of these, please, if you have time, please try and come down early around 9:30, and it's an enjoyable day, and like I said, it's always a nice affair. And once again, I'll just tell the people, if you have any questions or concerns, or you have any questions, as to what's going on, or you want to know what's going on, just call the funeral home at Stephen R. Haky Funeral Home at 724-437-2756, and we'll be able to assist you.
And again, Rich, your contact information for the band, if anybody needs any information on events or joining or any of that good stuff.
Okay. Our website again is www.vfwpost8543band.com, and my phone number is 724-439-1923.
And William, you mentioned about the people coming. I'm sure you see a lot of familiar faces every year, but I'm sure you see some new faces every year for this event as well.
It's always nice, like I said, every year, like I said, you do see a few new people. Like I said, at my age, I feel embarrassed because I'm getting old. I'm getting Youngsheimer's, but you see a lot of people. I mean, they're regulars. They come every year.
That's great.
But then every once in a while, you catch like some younger people, or even I hate to say it, but most of it, the average range aging there is probably like your mid 40s to your 90s. That's usually people. But we have seen some younger families coming. So once again, I think it's like anything in this world. It just depends on what's going on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the area and you have family and things like that, and they mention they come up, or people, I'm hoping they hear this and they're like, oh, okay, we weren't doing nothing Monday. We'll come up and see you.
Yeah.
But it's once again, it's a nice thing of that, because, like I said, it seems like it's been a tradition. People come out, and that's why we try and keep it going and try and keep it the level what it is, so that it's always a nice affair. People want to come back, and then we have the opportunity, like I said, to see people, and they can honor their country, they can honor their fallen veterans, and even guys, who are still alive and still serving, they're either, living there, so like that. It's nice to, thank them for their service when they come. So.
And again, on Monday, if it does rain, when would the decision be made if they're going to move it inside?
Like I said, usually it would be at the time, like I said, because we'd have to have usually it'd be in the morning, when the band starts to arriving. If it's pouring down rain or something like that, then we'd move to the funeral home.
Okay.
Usually, if it's still good, we'll keep it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if it does get moved inside, you'll be able to help direct people where to go and everything.
We will have people down at the tents down there at the cemetery to let people know that it's been moved to the funeral.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
that's at least the contingency plan that we've worked out. We haven't used it yet, so hopefully we don't have to.
Knock on that fake wood again.
But we do have a contingency plan this time in case something does happen. And like I said, but normally, like I said, if people are familiar with the cemetery, I mean, there's enough of the roadways down there, they can always park close down to where the setups are for the tents. And then, like I said, just in the case that they do get farther away, we are driving around to help people drive them down there. So,
All right, guys. Well, it was great having you here. And again, I'll be there on Monday. Looking forward to it. My first time being there. So I'll see you both on Monday.
That'll be wonderful. We appreciate YMBS's help.
Yeah. All right. And again, that was William from the Stephen R. Haky Funeral Home. And of course, we have Rich here, the band director of the VFW Post 8543 band. And again, it is the annual Memorial Day Patriotic Remembrance. It'll be on Monday. That's May 25th at the Stephen R. Haky Funeral Home, Sylvan Heights Cemetery, outdoors, but if it rains, they'll move it into the funeral home. It starts the actual ceremony at 10 a.m., but get there early for that concert at 9:30, and of course, starting at 10 here on WMBS Monday morning, we will be carrying the service for you. So that'll wrap up Locally Yours here on this Friday on WMBS.
There's never been a better time to be a Herald Standard subscriber. The Subscriber Rewards program is free and exclusive to all Herald Standard subscribers, providing access to special coupon offers from national and local businesses in Fayette County. Reward yourself. Sign up online at heraldstandard.com/reward.
Red Rooster Dumpster in Halling is the name to remember when you need a dumpster. Red Rooster offers fast, friendly service and provides medium-sized dumpsters to fit your needs, whether it's a general remodeling project, emptying a house, or doing a spring clean-out. Red Rooster Dumpster in Halling also offers a 10% military discount, and they are a proud sponsor of the Memorial Day services at Sylvan Heights Cemetery. For rates and availability, call Red Rooster at 724-569-0337 and look for the Red Rooster.
Looking to start a career in nursing? The Indiana County Technology Center is now recruiting for its part-time 16-month practical nursing program at the Connellsville Career and Technology Center. Named the 2025 Best in Fayette winner for Best Post-Secondary School in Fayette County, ICTC Connellsville offers a flexible program designed for real life, combining in-person classes, hybrid learning, and clinical experiences at sites close to home. But don't wait, spots are limited and filling fast. Classes meet just 2 evenings a week from 5 to 9 p.m., plus daytime clinicals every Friday and every other Saturday. Graduates can also earn college credits and